Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Long Island Legends podcast, the only podcast showcasing the most legendary talent here on our Long Island community. And today, I'm joined by Peter Morris and Kathy Viard, co-owners of Signature Premier Properties. Thanks so much for being on.
Thanks for having us.
So first of all, I just want to explain to the listeners real quick, if you notice a different setting, we are not in our normal studio because that's set up for one-on-one interviews. We're actually here at Signature Premier Properties headquarters, and this is their podcast room, so I would be remiss if I didn't mention that, so thank you for letting us host it here.
Happy to have you.
So before we get into the background and story on the two of you, I just want to tell the audience a little bit about Signature and your incredible growth. So Signature Premier Properties was recently ranked number 48 in sales volume nationwide in the 2025 Power Broker ranking with 5,553 closed sales and $3.9 billion total in sales volume. You were the number one company with fewest days on the market, the number one company for closed residential sales in Nassau and Suffolk County, and you've been at the center of Long Island's real estate boom with over 1,800 agents across 23 offices. You've outperformed market trends and have been voted the best real estate company on Long Island every year since 2017. So a little bit about co-owner Peter Morris. Peter is the owner of Morris Construction since 1994. He has been bringing architectural visions to life throughout the Huntington area. In 2007, during one of the toughest real estate markets in decades, maybe the toughest market of all time, he launched Signature Premier Properties, a neighborhood-focused, flexible real estate firm that's grown into Long Island's fastest-growing agency. With deep expertise in construction, building codes, and local real estate, you continue to play a hands-on role in helping clients and improving your community. As for Kathy Viard, real estate runs in her blood. She started her career alongside her mother, a seasoned agent of 35 years, and has since earned numerous awards in the field. Kathy plays a key role in growing Signature while building a company culture focused on family, flexibility, and community. She's also the force behind Signature Cares, a division dedicated to giving back to the neighborhoods they serve. And for Kathy, real estate isn't just a business, it's a way to help others find a home just like she did. Thank you.
Oh, that sounds impressive.
Thank you.
Yes.
That sounded good.
Who knew?
I obviously talked a little bit about your personal background, but if you wouldn't mind just kind of going into kind of how you got started in real estate and what led you to start Signature in the first place.
How I got started in real estate was I graduated college not having any clue what I wanted to do with my life. I just knew I wanted to be my own boss.
Okay.
So I went down the road to coach realtors, got an interview, came home all excited that I got hired. Had no idea they hire everybody.
Not everybody. Not everybody.
No, they hired everybody.
I know they did. Back then.
I said, wow, 50-50 split. This is great. And didn't know what the hell I was doing and had my first open house for Andrea Brevetto.
Yeah.
She asked me to do an open house, and I looked. The thing was sitting on the market, hadn't sold for a year, and I got lucky.
You sold it?
I sold it.
Good for you.
Yeah, and
Started
it was
a
a
good
difficult
career.
buyer. I sold it, and I thought this was too easy, and then I didn't sell anything for 3 months.
But you were very successful when we were young. You did very well.
Because of Stanley. I hooked up with a builder, and we became very close friends, and I found him all his land, and I listed all his new construction. So I had one really good client.
Well, it looked good. You did well.
Yeah.
So originally, after you had hooked up with him, you started building. Did you partner with him?
I did.
Okay.
I probably found him about 15, 20 lots and,
Okay.
and got the resales. He would always give them to me. And then I found one lot that was I got it for 17 grand. It was probably worth about 40
Okay.
at the time. And he said, I'll take it. And I'm like, not this one, bro. I said, teach me everything you know. He's like, I need another realtor. I said, go find one because we were close friends.
Gotcha.
So I put up the land. He taught me how to build the house. Back then, you could put up a high ranch for 60 grand.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so
Whereabouts was
we were in
this?
it for 180.
Okay.
We sold it for 129. We thought it was all the money in the world. We went out and celebrated, and then I just started finding lots, and we partnered up, and we probably built about 1,500 homes since
1,500.
until the Great Recession hit. Yeah.
Okay.
When
So
when he was smart and realized that the bubble was going to burst.
what year those 1,500 homes that occurred over what period of time?
We built about 20 a year.
20 a year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this went on for a long
Oh,
period.
yeah, we were partners from 25, good 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So at that point, 2007, right, the recession hits, okay, and you realize this isn't going to be the same business that it once was, right? You decide to open up Signature. What was the impetus behind that?
I was in trouble.
Okay.
I was in trouble. I had a lot. At that time, I said 20 year, but at that time we probably had 50 new builds going on. And Stan was smart. He saw the writing on the wall. And he was like, Pete, the bubble's going to burst. I didn't want to hear it.
Sure.
And he kind of just wanted to be set free and play golf and cherry pick 3 to 5 lots a year, where we had a real machine going where we had to find land to keep everybody going.
Yeah.
So we were starting to overpay a little bit. And I pretty much took over the company, set them free. The Great Recession hit. But I was smart enough to know the market's a function of price. So I just cut all my prices and got out of everything, kept my real estate license.
Okay.
And kind of used Signature as a way to save money on commission and sell them myself.
Okay.
And find land. And find land.
Oh, well, yes. At first, when I started it, had no visions of grandeur. It was just to feed the construction business. Let me get a group of realtors that look for land for me all day. I'll give them the resales. I'll recruit agents with the carrot of giving them the resale and being able to feed their business. I had tons of buyer leads, so that was a way for me to get agents. And I didn't care if it made money. I was looking to feed the other business until it got to a certain point where I said, hey, we could make something of this.
Okay. So that was the original vision really for Signature.
Yes.
Okay. Now, obviously, you started to say, okay, this is something that is going to potentially exceed what I'm doing, in the building front. What were the biggest drivers of growth for you guys in the early years?
For me, it was about getting agents.
Okay.
And when I really knew it was going to turn into something was when Kathy came on board.
Okay.
She had her own agency with 40, 50 agents.
Okay.
And when she joined forces with me, I knew we had something special.
How did that come to?
Old friends.
Okay.
We met in our early 20s.
Yeah.
We were both at Coach.
We were kids at Coach.
We were the only kids at Coach,
Okay.
literally. And I think that fostered the friendship because everybody was much older than us. And we did well. We both did very well at Coach. And then paths took our lives
She did better than me.
We both did well. And then, paths, we stayed in touch. I would find him land occasionally. And
And whenever I was doing lots, I worked with a lot of different agents because everybody was holding land exclusive.
Sure.
So
it was a different market.
One in every office, but Kathy found me more than anybody, and I always liked dealing with her.
Well.
We worked really well together.
We always worked well together.
What do you remember the point in time where you said to her, "Hey, why don't you come aboard"? Do you remember what that conversation was like?
Want to talk about Century 21?
Actually, I was getting ready to retire.
Oh.
I had done made my mark in the industry. My children were all living in South Carolina. I went to college and met their significant others there. And my first granddaughter was born. And I thought I would do training. I was actually invited to be a trainer for someone. And I actually called Pete's then partner. Pete had always tried to, he always we stayed in touch. And I had said, listen, I'm going. You might as well take this lease. I just renegotiated it. And Pete came in and they walked outside and Pete didn't even put his seatbelt on and he called and he said, let's just keep it and I'll fund it for you and we'll just put a signature sign on it. And I had given my word to someone else. I had basically sold the company to somebody else. And I always say to
You said, give me 1 year. You said
I gave her a 1 year
1 year
obligation, but here's the beauty.
I put it right in my calendar to call you in a year.
You called me in 6 months.
Oh, I did.
We met for a glass of wine, and you said, I want to show you something, and you brought us down to Main Street, the original office.
The Ritz? No, we met at the Ritz.
We met at the Ritz, but you had built that office on Main Street. You were opening in Northport.
Oh, okay.
And remember that? And
Yeah.
he was opening in Northport, and I remember thinking, God, this is beautiful. And I really didn't give a year agreement. It was 6 months, but I didn't. And I do say one thing. You definitely were persistent. I always say he dated me the hardest of anybody in my life. He would stay in touch. He would, I was still finding him land, and the rest is history. I saw the location, and it's just fun. Working with Peter Morris has always been, and to this day is fun.
When you decided to take the leap, right, did you envision it growing into what it has grown now?
No.
Okay.
No. I didn't think I would. When I took the leap, we started on Valentine's Day. And
What year was this, if I may ask?
2010 or 11? 10.
Okay.
2010.
Okay.
I closed in 09, so 2010. When I started in Northport, and it happened fast, right? About 6 months in.
And Kathy brought about 40 agents, and her company was called Century 21 Family. So everybody knew, like, you don't try to recruit Kathy's agents. They're not going anywhere. She knows everybody's kids, everybody's spouse, everybody's pet. Like, she kept her agents really close, and that company was a family.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we came together, she brought that culture to Signature, and then together we recruited like animals, and the company took off.
So go ahead.
It was just a good chapter.
Was that something that you envisioned, though, that you said, hey, I want to create a better culture. I want to have that feeling of family and maybe...
Organic, I think.
It just happened when Kathy came aboard. All I saw was the opportunity to get Kathy and her crew. And it was a bad deal for Kathy at the time, but she took a leap of faith. People were offering her a lot of money for the company. I didn't have it at the time. And I offered her a management position, and she just took a leap of faith, and we eventually became 50-50 partners because she's built the company. I can't do it without her.
No. We've done it together.
How long were you involved with Signature before you became...
6 months.
6 months, you became 50-50 partners?
Eventually.
Gradually.
Yeah.
Gradually.
But it was about 6 months.
Okay. Now, obviously, you've developed the ability to attract and retain top talent, right? Which I think speaks to the culture that you have here. Aside from that, though, like, what are you doing to foster that culture? Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of brokerages, not as good as Signature, but there's a lot of brokerages that still offer something, right, of value to agents. What is it that you're doing? Because these agents, they come, they stay for a bit, they hop from brokerage to brokerage. You don't see that as much here.
Thank God, no, we don't.
What do you think?
What we do see is when they hop, they usually come back.
Yes.
We've had 40 agents in the last 2 years that have left Signature and come back to Signature.
That's great.
Because 99% of the time, if they do leave, we release their listings, we release their contracts.
Part friends.
We give them a hug, part friends, and then 3 months, how's it going over there?
Yeah.
How's it going over there? And usually the grass isn't greener on the other side. I say 99% of the time because
we don't always
every once in a while.
Decided it was a blessing in disguise.
Of course. Yeah.
But culture. I think culture, people need to know you care, and Pete and I really do genuinely care. We're very hands-on. I think that's attractive to people because we really are a boutique firm. Although we're large, we're very, I say mom and pop, but it's boutique-y. It's everyone knows that we're here. Our phones constantly ring. We answer them. Very hands-on.
Yeah. So your question was attract and retain. So I think we attract by having happy agents, and happy agents talk to other agents. We also cut out cancers. When you get that bad
no matter
apple,
how productive they may be.
We don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
No,
we don't care.
No.
They can ruin an office. That negative person that you can't do anything right, you can't make happy. But if you have happy agents, they tell other agents, and we're very agent focused. Like what an agent needs, we make sure we make happen. As far as retaining, you just have to run a good company and keep them happy.
And make sure that everybody knows you care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think when a lot of times people talk about culture, they think it's just like it's a word that just sort of gets thrown about, right? And they think, well, if we, wish happy birthday and have a birthday cake, for our employees, that's a good culture, right? But it's really not, right? To create something that people feel like they're a part of, that it's a second home to them, right? Like that takes a lot of work, right? And you obviously have families of your own, but in essence, like this has become your extended family, and you treat everybody that way. But it's hard. My question is, as you get larger and larger and larger, what have you been able to do to keep that feel? Because as well as I do, you can't make everybody happy, and you can only separate yourselves and divide yourself in so many different ways.
Yes, so we do divide and conquer a little bit because time is limited. It's not hard, though. Everyone says it must be hard to keep this culture. It's not. It's become a little challenging, but we find ways around it. We make sure that we see them, feel them, touch them, love them.
Yeah, we've heard the whispers, you're getting too big. It's not the way it used to be, but boy, we try. I mean,
not for lack of trying.
We really try, and we've got a management team that's into the system.
Sure.
And they really do a great job keeping their agents happy and doing their own things per office,
And they keep us involved. They absolutely, our management team is truly second to none because when they're hired, we tell them we want to know everything. Tell us everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. If it's ugly, we'll fix it. If it's good, we want to acknowledge it. But hiring the right people is key.
How do you empower those people? I mean, you know they're the right people, but obviously hiring the right people is only half the battle. Empowering them and giving them the tools and resources necessary to help foster and grow that culture. So, because as it grows, it can't just be the two of you. You mentioned your office managers. What are you doing to kind of help them further this mission that you have?
Giving them the freedom to run it the way
Okay.
the way
I
they
was going
want.
to say the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, giving that,
Yeah.
letting them feel like it's their own.
It's their own office.
Yeah,
Run it the way you want.
and we'll always have.
As long as you're running it well and doing a good job, we're not going to micromanage you.
And if something comes up, we address it spot on. Like if something, they tried something and it didn't work, we all make mistakes.
Sure.
Very hands-on. I keep going back to that. But we empower them. We let them feel like it's their own and they have a voice and they're heard and we have their backs.
Okay, well, that makes a ton of sense. As far as strategies that you've implemented from a technological standpoint, branding, things of that nature, right? What have you done over the last 10 years to really, aside from word of mouth, is there anything you've done outside of the conventional norms to get Signature to where it is now?
Try to stay cutting edge. We really
Yeah.
try to stay ahead of the curve.
Listen, we built the company on culture. We got it to a certain point, right? We got it to a certain point with happy hours and, and philanthropy and community work and bringing everybody together. And I would go on recruiting meetings and they would say like, well, how are you going to help me grow my business? And
Sure.
I'd be like, isn't that your job?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then we made a big investment. We rebranded and we went out and got tools. We went out and got technology. We went out. I mean, we have this podcast studio.
Sure.
We have a marketing crew. We have a staging division. We have a videographer. We have photographer.
Social media director.
We have every tool of every big boy in the business, but we try to keep the culture of a mom and pop.
But I think it's important that we've always said that we're smart in one way. We hire people that are smarter than us
Yes.
because the next generation really does have the hand on it much better than we do. So we try to stay cutting edge. We listen to our agents also. They'll tell us what they need, what they want, what we don't have. We don't always.
Like I know me, the next big thing is AI.
Of
I
course.
know I'm not going to learn it,
Yeah.
Same.
but we're going to hire somebody
Someone,
who
yeah.
knows it up and down.
Now, when you talk about like listening to your agents, right? Obviously, you can't talk to all these agents at once. Are there any tools? I mean, obviously, my phone's always available, but you know that like a lot of them don't necessarily take you up on that, right? If they're unhappy about something, maybe they're festering about it behind closed doors, right? Is there anything that you're doing to kind of like sometimes pull the information out of them? Because
Out of the managers. If you know somebody's unhappy, let us know.
Yep.
Okay.
And we address it. We're really, truly nose to nose, toes to toes people. It's not something we don't hide behind an email. If someone's upset, we'll get in the car, go meet them, talk it out, hear their side, acknowledge our role in it, and try and be better at it
Yeah, we make mistakes.
Sure.
every
know?
day.
So, Signature at this point is going on, it's 18 years now, basically.
Good
right?
Lord.
Went
How'd that
fast.
happen?
Getting old.
What's some of the most difficult challenges that you face? Because obviously you dealt with starting this in a recession, right? What I said was probably maybe the worst, real estate recession of all time, arguably. Then obviously things happened over the years and, COVID and lawsuits and all sorts of stuff. What would you, if you had to look back and say, this was the most challenging period, what was that for you?
For me,
For me too.
when Compass came into town,
Okay.
It was personal.
we were not used to losing agents.
Okay.
We retained better than anybody. And when Compass came into town, we had a lot of top producers that left.
Not
Okay.
a lot, but a good amount.
We had a good amount.
A good amount.
But so did everybody. So did everybody. They came in with big,
Open wallets.
big open wallets, and they got a lot of the top people in the industry. And it was disheartening, and
Definitely disheartening.
yeah,
It broke
we
our
actually,
spirits.
It broke our spirit
Really?
a little bit. We actually, for a
And when
little-
was that happening?
how long ago
5
was
years,
that?
right around COVID, right before COVID.
before
and
COVID, maybe?
Right before
Okay.
COVID.
And we actually considered selling.
That's the
at one
only
point.
time. That's the only time we've ever considered.
We were just like, we don't need this anymore. Like
We took it
it's-
personally.
We took it personally, which you can't do. That was a mistake we made, right? But then, she's got 3 daughters. I have 3 daughters. We rolled up our sleeves, got back to basics, and went out and recruited like animals. And for Our market share never went down; it only went up.
Oh.
We went out and got the Zach Scher team. We went out and got the Leonard team. We went out and got monster players after the people we lost, and it
Made us a better company.
made us a better company.
What did they do that was it strictly a money play? It was. That they were Compass, that they were able to pull some certain agents away from you.
A little bit of ego, I think.
They were the new shiny penny.
Okay.
They were the new shiny penny coming into town. They were writing bonuses to people to get them over.
Was that a common thing at the time, or
No.
No.
It
No,
wasn't.
It's unheard of.
It was okay. Because I've heard. I mean, a lot of brokerages have done that. Was that in response to what Compass was doing?
I think so, yes.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay.
It changed the industry here a little bit.
Now, is that something that's specific to this area, or you're seeing
No.
that that's
That's
nationwide?
nationwide.
Yeah.
That's nationwide.
Yeah.
Now, so the question that I had, which you answered already, that was the only time that you really ever thought about
Only
pivoting.
time. Only time.
Okay.
Yeah. Our spirits were broken. Our spirits were, it was personal, like we hadn't really
Yeah,
lost
we
anybody.
actually took a couple meetings, and then we really thought about it, and I said, you know what, Kath?
It's our
We
baby.
built this. It's our baby. I go, once it's gone, it's gone. I'm not ready.
It was a
to-
very short window. It was just a knee-jerk reaction to really being hurt.
Yeah, I love that my daughter works here. My other daughter's going to come working here.
Mm-hmm.
Mine are all,
Kathy's
yeah.
got
yeah.
two that are here, and
One in our
it's
title company, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
It's really, that's,
I'm so happy we didn't sell, and we're never going to sell. That's off the table.
thank God.
So when you talk about now your purpose, right, with the brokerage, obviously you continue to grow and you've gone through these challenging times, but as at a point now where the brokerage is, and it's obviously grown so much beyond what you've even envisioned, right? What do you see now for the future for you guys? Not the brokerage, but for you guys within the brokerage. You talk about your family, your kids, obviously the impact that you have on the agents. You get to a point where it's not yes, it's about the company, but you also start to think about your role in that company. What do you see over the next 5 to 10
It's
years?
fun. That's a great question, because every time I think, maybe I'll slow down, I get panicked. It's like it's our baby. I can't imagine not having signature in my everyday, and so I don't have a
You don't.
no, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's my favorite story. Can I tell our favorite story?
Sure, sure.
Same.
I've never even looked at the money. It's just like if you do it right, the money will follow.
I think that makes us stand out very much. I think that probably doesn't sound very professional or like good business people, but we probably are the one company out there that doesn't really care about the bottom line. As long as everybody's happy and healthy and has what they need. Look, we want to be profitable, but if it's this or this, I don't think it bothers. It doesn't affect us one way or another.
Would I like to get our daughters? They're very involved. Would I like to see that progression continue? Absolutely.
They'll grow into it. Yeah.
Absolutely. As far as, I think the beginning of the question was where we see ourselves going individually, but also as a company. As a company, we're going to try to conquer the higher end now.
Okay.
Luxury.
We're going to do a luxury division, and we're opening in Roslyn, and this office is really important to us. Opening in a quote-unquote bread and butter market isn't as challenging as opening in
Sure.
a high-end market, right?
I know that from just, doing builds in luxury markets.
There's a lot of mom and pops. You
Yeah.
do a beautiful office. You offer a fair split. It's easy to recruit, right? You go into a higher-end neighborhood like Roslyn, it's Daniel Gale, it's Douglas Elliman, it's Compass, it's good established companies that have respected companies that have had agents there for a long time. We're the newcomers. It's hard to pull. Right, so, but this office is important to us. We're going to make a big investment to it, and we're going to really try to get our average sales price up and get into the Brookvilles and get into the, the high-end
I
market.
believe we'll have great success there.
What about out east? Is the plan to go west first and then east?
That's
or?
always been our plan. To
Okay.
That's
spread
always
it-
been our
yeah,
plan,
to spread
yeah.
across the island.
Okay.
But once again, you go into Southbridge, Hampton, it's a little incestuous out there.
Yeah, of
Not
course.
everybody knows who you are. Not
Sure.
everybody
Yeah.
wants you. And it's hard to break into. So, Kathy always keeps me grounded. I'm ready to open up 100 offices. I
Sure.
would have gone broke by now. but I think our plan is good right now.
So I want to just piggyback off that point. You said if it wasn't for her, you would have gone broke. How do you guys complement each other Where's your strengths, weaknesses? Obviously, it's worked well. It's been a fantastic partnership. But a partnership is only beneficial if you can fill the gaps that the other person has, right?
I think we've mastered that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm more of a risk taker. She keeps me grounded.
Okay.
Right?
I wish I was more of a risk taker. It works. I mean, everyone's always referred to us as yin and yang, polar opposites. Um, I think that we just complement. It's not like I have a specific role or Pete has a specific role. It just works. It's like we're just raising this family together, and
So when the roles, like, there's no formal, like, this is your area, this is your area. There's no
Listen,
divide.
Kathy takes the brunt of it. Her phone rings nonstop.
we both work a lot.
Let's be
Pete
honest.
loves roast.
She takes the brunt of it, but all the decisions we make together.
100%.
You know, if it's something major, we always sit down. We always talk it through. We're always
Communication.
99% always on the same page.
What's been the times that you haven't been on the same page?
I can't think of one. Right? Can you? It's really not a challenge because communication is so important, and we are great communicators. And if I'm having a crazy day, Pete has a great ability to bring. I always say I want to see the world through Pete's glasses because I can talk to him for one sense, have myself so worked up, and Pete says something, I'm like, God, he's so
Like
right.
I'll say, blow off tonight. I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as one of us are there, we're good. And she does the same for me. And at the end of the day, we're friends first, right?
100%.
So we just talk everything through.
So, people that are watching this, right, they're either thinking about getting into a business relationship or they're currently in a business relationship. The number one thing, it seems, and I don't want to speak for you, is communication, right?
Communication. Yeah. And
Listen,
respect.
Partnerships are tough, right? My partner before Kathy, great lady. I would have never made that work. We just didn't see eye to eye. 80% of partnerships fail.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just our friendship that started before and our personalities. We're lucky it works. I don't know if there's a magic
Respect.
formula. We just get along great.
We do.
And you've always been friends, right? So, and you work together in a smaller, more limited capacity, right? Do you think that that's probably good advice for anybody looking to get into a partnership, is to test it out,
Test it out, make sure you get along, because if you don't get along, there's always going to be an argument. You got to be on the same page.
In terms of, obviously, staying connected with your agents, right? I know you say you do a lot through the office managers, right? But there's got to be to some level, right? I don't want to say a Rolodex, but a way that you're keeping it personal, where they feel like, hey, Pete reached out to me, Kathy reached out
It's
to me.
little things. It's a
Okay.
lot of little things. I still handwrite 10 notes a week and send out
Okay.
gift cards congratulating them.
I sent you 4
Yesterday,
yesterday. Please send
yep.
a gift card to these
Yep.
guys. They're on fire.
And we still handwrite them. We send them a little something to say thank you, because remember, they've taken a leap of faith in us and they're working for us, and they need to know. There's not a baby that's born that we don't send something for. We know just about everything. We really do. So we have date nights. We meet them
6 to 8 months of the year, we go out every Wednesday night
Every
with
Wednesday
3
night.
offices just to keep in touch with everybody and see how everybody's doing.
and we call it date night because really we're dating our own agents.
Sure.
'Cause if it not for them, there'd be no business.
And that doesn't just go right for the top producing agents, everybody.
I think
Everybody.
I think that is a little bit of the secret in our sauce. Everybody matters. Secret in our sauce. Everybody matters. Whether you sell one house or you're the top producer. Look,
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah, like
celebrates.
Montauk
Is our
trip
big
is a
trip.
contest, but if you don't make the contest,
Everybody's
you're still
welcome.
invited.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you have to pay in a little bit, or it's not one, but we still want to bring everybody together.
Yeah.
And so, because for everybody out there, right, like, as you know, like, I work a lot with Zach Scher, right? Like, there's one day, right, there's somebody in your office right now that's just getting started, right, that's going to be the leader of the next big team, right? And so, are there any traits that you notice in some of these people, right, these young up-and-coming agents, that you see when you guys sit down and get together, like, watch out for this person, watch out for that person?
The it factor. We just
There's
know
an it factor.
What is the it factor?
There was one last night I told you she's going to be
Yeah, and I agree.
top
agree.
5 in the company soon. I don't want to say who it is,
Yeah.
but
Kindness.
has the it factor.
It's a perfect combination of have the work ethic, have the drive, and be kind.
The need.
And care.
The
The
need.
need. The need's important.
The need's
Yeah.
important.
Probably the most important.
The drive, the
The
need,
want.
the likability.
Yes, the likability is huge. I have seen that, with agents that I have worked with, right? because I do a majority of my business through signature. But like you, right, when people bring you deals, right, you have to give it back to them, and they may not be a signature agent. And there's a lot of them that are excellent, and I love working with them. But then there's others, right, that I have worked with, and I'm just like, oh boy, never again, right? And some of them, I hate to say it, like they do have the drive, but there takes a certain amount of, know-how too and creativeness. And I've seen people who are really nice and they care, and that goes a long way, but you also have to be creative too. And some of them are missing that, unfortunately.
And when I look for a manager, when we need to hire a manager, that's the quality I look for. Well, not knowledge. We'll teach them the knowledge, likability, most important. Yep.
And kindness.
That their agents like them.
Yeah. Hmm.
Beyond that, because it helps me answer another one of my questions. The managers that you hire, like how rigorous is that? Because they're an extension of you, right? How, a lot of these companies, right, they give you 3 personality tests. And
No,
they do
none.
of that.
None of
Okay.
that. No.
Okay, so this is based off of a feel, a gut instinct.
Gut
and
instinct, we
obviously-
interview them and we say, what do you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you care?
And I think it's really important that we're always on the same page, right? We kind of always have the same gut. When someone walks out of a room, we both know that person's going to be great. And as Pete said, they have to be likable. They have to. I always say a good manager has the heart of a teacher. So it's not as rigorous as nothing compared to the real company.
Sure.
I won't say real because we're real bigger companies. But no.
Long Island residents, do you have a house that you want to potentially sell off market, your terms, your timeline, your way? Or do you know of somebody that could benefit from that? Then definitely give us a call. You can reach out to us at 631-333-SELL. The number is below, or visit our website at SuffolkCountyHouseBuyers.com. And for any deal that you refer over to us where you are not the seller, the first deal you refer to us, we pay a $5,000 referral fee. The second deal, we pay a $10,000 referral fee. And get this, the third deal that you refer to us, we will split the profits with you 50-50. And some of our deals are multiple 6 figures, so this can be a life-changing amount of money. It could pay for weddings. It could pay for college, anything that you choose from. So please take advantage of this great opportunity. Once again, we're looking for off-market opportunities where a seller wants to sell on their terms, their timeline, their way. Do you feel as though, like, the real estate know-how, I know you said we'll teach them everything. Normally, I would imagine, are all your managers, they're licensed agents?
Yes, they have to be.
They have to be licensed agents. Being a successful realtor
Doesn't always make a good manager.
doesn't always make a good manager.
I always found teachers and nurses make the best managers.
Teachers and nurses.
You have to care. It's a caring. I always say a good manager has the heart of a teacher.
Sure.
Someone who, remember, you're helping them take the next chapter in their life, and you have to want it as much as they want it.
Often top producers won't have the patience for newer agents.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could see that. So these managers that you're bringing in that, are helping grow your company, and they're obviously helping to breathe life into some of these newer agents. What do you think that they are doing specifically, right, to be able to kind of get the most out of this talent that you're recruiting, the young up-and-coming agents?
It's a great question.
What are they doing to kind of extract that and help them get to the next level? Because like what you've asked, when an agent said, well, all these get-togethers are great, but what are you doing to grow my business, right? Well, if you have the right managers, they're going to be the ones that basically answer that question.
One-on-one coaching with them, right?
Well, training. We have a lot of training. Our management team works different than traditional management teams. Our management team all work as one unit. We never pit an office or a manager against each other. So where one is strong, the other may be weak, or one is strong, the other may be super strong, or this one specializes in teaching this. So it's like it takes a village to raise a family, and that's what we've done.
A lot of other companies, the manager runs the office and runs a P&L.
Yeah.
So they're checking paper towels, they're
Yeah.
checking
Prices.
supplies, they're counting the agent's colored copies.
Yeah.
An agent moves from one office to another office, and then the managers are like
Fight.
this because
Yeah.
it took something out of the other one's pocket. That's not the way we do it. We just do one company, one family, and they all help each other.
It goes back to hyper agent focused. It's about the agents. We tell our managers when we hire them, you're amazing, we love you, but leave your ego at the door. Leave your ego at the door. What's best for the agent? What do they need, and how do we get it for them?
Are you actively looking like when you see an agent that's out there, right? And maybe they're just not, I don't want to say hacking it, but they're just being the everyday realtor isn't for them, right? Are you constantly looking within your own circle?
Pete does it on the regular.
Okay.
That person would be a great manager.
Okay. And what are things, again, not to repeat the same question, but what are some things that you'll notice about them? Because you may not.
Really one for you. Likability.
To be a manager,
Yeah.
for me, it's likability and if I think they're intelligent,
Okay.
Kindness, patience.
kind, smart, likable. You know, sometimes we look from within the company, and other times we look for seasoned managers from other companies that are already established and have done a good job.
One of the things that I've noticed is sometimes people could be very likable, right? They could be great teachers, but they're not always sometimes the best communicators, okay? Which is obviously communication's been a major factor, right? One of the reasons the agents, like someone like Zach, right? You know, we communicate regularly.
It's the only way to do it, yeah.
It's the only way to do that, right? How do you identify the managers that maybe have those traits, but they're missing that ability to communicate? Because if they can't communicate and stay in touch with people, it all falls apart no matter how good they are.
At the end of the day, we've made mistakes. We've hired the wrong fit, right? So we've had managers that were terrible communicators. We've had managers that we said, what were we thinking, right? But it all played, we're not very good at firing people.
Some of us are better.
But at the same time, it does happen organically, or we do have to have the tough talk, or we do have to let somebody go, and it's usually our own faults that we didn't see it when we hired them.
Were there any situations where you hired someone, you said, you know what, this isn't going to work out, but
Yep.
then you found a way to make it work?
As a manager or repositioning?
As a manager, whereas maybe some
We never like to blindside anyone. So we'll have the conversation. Maybe maybe our regional will lean in a little on them, or we'll spend a little time with them, and we give them fair warning. But it's hard to have a round peg in a square hole.
Yeah.
But oftentimes we've had managers come from other companies that were very corporate,
Oh, that's hard.
and it just took time to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Deprogram them.
Deprogram
Yeah.
them. And once they were deprogrammed, then started
Then they
drinking
shine.
our Kool-Aid, then they shined.
Yeah.
Okay. So overall, though, I mean, there's a lot of times with these managers that, they may start off in a way that, it doesn't fit the corporate culture, but I would say that sounds to me like the key is that you're not willing to just give up on people so easily.
Absolutely not. But you said one thing, the corporate culture. That's the problem. We're not corporate.
Gotcha.
We're anti-corporate. Everything is very
There's no red tape here.
no red tape.
Agent has a problem, they call
Call
their
us.
manager, they need to brand themselves, they call marketing,
Yep.
they need help with social media, they call Jackie. With finances, they call Lisa,
Yeah.
they call Kath, they call me.
They know who to call.
They know who to call, and we always get it done.
When these agents are coming to you and they're looking to grow and they want the long-term success that they see the top producers in your company having, is there anything that you're doing to kind of lay out a path for them so that they could see that? Because a lot of times, there's no plan for them. They have this idea,
a lot
but
of
there's
these
no.
a lot of these younger agents come in and they don't really have a sphere of influence, right? So, but they have abilities. So, for us, we like to put them on people's teams. Kevin, Zach, JD.
Really launch them.
Then they really have close mentorship and they're fed leads, and it could really get them started.
Okay.
So for the agent that doesn't want a team, or is not not everybody's right for a team, our education, honest to goodness, is second to none. Our trainers are the best in the business. We have a program called Achieve, where no new agent brand new to the industry can hit the street until they've taken this class.
Can you tell me more about what that class
That class is
entails?
just, every time an agent goes on the street, it's our reputation, but it's also their the other agent's reputation. It's just ABC of real estate. Everything we need to hit on, and then they graduate that and they take a second class called oh gosh, why can't I? What's Nancy's class?
Crash course.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Big birthday this year. Crash course. They're very well trained. Teaches them how to start with, getting their name out there, making sure everything's legal, know the legality of having your name on a business card, how to build a database, everything. We're actually, Pete, walking in here today said, I'm seeing so many people, deal sheets from agents I don't know yet, because we're having great success launching I think we probably have the best success around launching brand new agents right now.
And if you look at our calendar, every single day there's a training on our calendar.
Way to grow your business.
And every month there's a way to grow your business. There's a way to give back to the community.
Or be
And
social.
there's a way to socialize.
But you offer that, but you know that not everybody takes you up on those things, right? So is there anything that you guys are doing to like kind of get into the agent's ear, like, hey, we have this, we have this, we have this? 'Cause
Managers.
The managers.
Managers.
And the managers.
And I will say a lot of our charity events help people with their business. It helps them because they come in, they feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. They've met another agent from another office. They can lean on them. You know, our Montauk retreat really was founded with, we want everyone to know everyone.
Sure.
We want one big happy family. So yeah, the seasoned agents, I get great pride when I see a seasoned agent helping a new agent. So yes, there's lots of ways.
You know, it doesn't feel this way, but a lot of, you know, real estate should be a collaborative approach, right? On the buyer side and the seller side, right? As somebody that, you know, sells a lot of homes, I don't always take the highest offer, right? Because I know that there's an offer that's
I love that.
that's a little bit lower, but it's got the right attorney.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, it's our title company, the right mortgage lender, the whole 9 yards.
It's going to be a good deal.
It's going to be smoother, right? I do enough deals, not to sound cocky, but it's like I do enough deals that it's not I'm more looking for fluidity in my business, right? Like the same thing here, right? You want more fluidity, right? Like I made the mistake before of saying corporate, right? But you're not, right?
I'm not.
It's not, you know, and it seems like fluidity in the office amongst this culture that you created is important. So now, is there anything that you guys are doing to kind of help foster more collaboration amongst signature agents? Because that makes everybody happy.
Yeah, we do a lot of masterminding where the agents get together. Is that the question? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had an agent call me the other day, and she told me how happy she was at Signature, that if her last 3 deals she got was because she was at Signature because it was an in-house deal. And that might sound corrupt, but it's not. It was because the other agent knew they had the right mortgage broker referred, the right attorney referred, and
But just let's disclose the homeowner made the ultimate
Yes, the
decision because
ultimate-
it was the best deal for the homeowner.
Sure.
of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's my role.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. But you're right. We try to refer the right attorneys. We try to refer
Yeah.
I can
the
speak.
right mortgage people. I mean, Contour Mortgage is fantastic.
And I could speak to that. I hear on the street a lot of agents at other companies that I'll run into and they'll say, hey, Kath, I did a deal with one of your agents. It's always a pleasure doing a deal with a signature agent because they're educated, they're trained, and they get the job done. So not in-house.
You know, some of these companies, they give a new agent 95%. They don't train them.
Sure.
They don't know what they're doing. It gives the whole industry a bad name.
Ultimately, yeah. I mean, for me, we see it all the time. I mean, I stay insulated, right? Because, I mean, my wife has, you know, brought it up in the past, like, well, you know, would you ever want to list your own homes? Absolutely not. Like, I don't want to have a part of it because I know what, you know, somebody like Zach or someone else has to deal with, right? Yes, obviously, if they're dealing with another signature agent, it makes life easier. But then there's also a lot of agents that it's their very first deal. And
That's
so,
a
and
lot.
the ones that are the worst, it's their first deal, and they're trying to pretend like they've done 100. And it's okay if it's your first, because most times
Everybody has one.
everybody has one. And if you tell the agent on the other side, hey, it's my first deal, like they're actually happy to kind of help you walk.
I never try to fake it.
Yeah.
If I don't know something, I just say, I don't know it. I
Yeah.
used to try to fake it, and you end up looking dumb.
Yeah, no, it's better to just be honest and forthright with people and just kind of just lay it out there, because everybody has to start somewhere, you know what I mean? And that was the same for me. I didn't try to fake it. I was very honest and transparent about where I was. That led to a lot of different relationships, both good and bad, but they were learning experiences that went along. I think what I've noticed is so many people, not to sound old, but like the younger generation, they're afraid to lose. They're afraid to fail. I think if I had to pick a reason why and I'm sure the same goes for you two, right? Like, it doesn't seem like you're afraid to fail.
No.
It doesn't seem like you're afraid to get
You
it
learn.
wrong.
learn.
We have failed.
Yeah.
We still fail.
We've opened offices that didn't work, and we closed. We've made
Stupid
we
mistakes.
failed.
Yeah.
But
you always grow.
each failure you learn by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We failed in Locust Valley. We're not failing in Roslyn.
Just to talk about kind of setbacks and challenges, I was surprised to hear, obviously, that, you know, the Compass coming into town was, you know, such a major challenge. Can you describe what happened, what you guys went through last year with, obviously with the NAR settlement? Because that must have ranked pretty high up there in terms
No.
of, no, it didn't.
NAR sucked. It sucked for everybody. We weren't in it alone.
I mean,
Actually,
can you
NAR
imagine that they said everybody who did under $3 billion is protected?
Yes.
And then you
2.2.
do 3.1 billion, and their first offer is like, we want $10 million.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
We're like,
For the bank.
oh, because we're
Yeah.
1 million ahead of the threshold. It
Yeah.
was stupid. It made no sense. It hasn't changed the industry
At all.
at
At all. Well, that
If
was my
anything,
next question.
Made it
commissions
worse.
are up, not down.
But like everything else, from bad, good always comes, right? The NAR situation was terrible. It sucked.
Sure.
But we've learned a lot, and we've made great friends. We have made great friends out of the states, even with people that were in they came together. We've taught each other. We learned and we leaned on each other. So as much as it was
And listen, we had to write a big check.
huge.
And instead of consolidating and firing people, we told our agents what happened to us. And we said, Montauk's a huge expense. Our Christmas party's a huge expense. We're going to skip it this year. We hope you understand. We're like, oh my God, everyone's going to call.
They
and
were amazing.
They were amazing. They
Amazing.
offered to start a fund to help pay for it. We're like, no, we're
Yeah,
good
yeah,
guys.
yeah,
But
yeah.
our agents are great.
You want to talk about humbling? When we went through that, they were so kind and so generous, and we had such fear. But I do think the lesson there was we've always been transparent. They know what's going on. We're honest with our agents. We tell them, right?
Oh, yeah,
We're
we tell 'em
struggling with
everything.
this. We failed at this. We know you don't like this, but we have to try it because. And out of all bad, good comes, right?
Yeah, we never lie. This company's paying us money. Give them a try.
If you don't like them, don't
If
use
you don't
them.
like them, don't use them.
Yeah.
But we don't sit there and try to hide and pretend it's not happening.
Sure.
We write a newsletter once a month to the agents and just let them know what's going on with the company, what
They
we're doing
love it.
well, where we screwed up, where we hope to do better, and everybody knows what's going on.
So to the point, obviously you're a real estate brokerage, but you also understand that there's a lot of services that support the real estate industry, right? And you have partnerships with those respective industries, those respective companies, right? I've seen this, for instance, in like masterminds that I've been in where they bring in, vendors, right, that support your business. And they always say, hey, listen, this is somebody they're paying to be a part of this mastermind. Use them if you like. If you don't like them, please tell us because we don't want to just take their money for the sake of taking it, right? I would imagine it's similar for you guys as well, right? Because you want to make sure that these vendors that you're bringing in, that they're supporting the actual transaction and they're making this engine move forward.
100%.
Because without that, right, there's no sales. And without the sales, then there's no signature, right?
100%.
Listen, no agent wants to be told who to use. They all have their own people, right? Do our ancillary services bringing income?
Sure.
They do, of course.
We'll give
But
right
we
back.
make sure that they're good people. And we do need the ancillary services because the industry's changing. Splits have gone up. They're not what they used to be. I used to work on a 50-50,
Yeah.
you know?
But now these ancillary services, there's been times where you've probably had to cut and say, this doesn't make sense, right? What was the main driver behind those decisions?
Wasn't the right fit for our company.
Okay.
We're very agent focused. Is this going to work for the agent? I think the secret for us too is we both sold for years and years, and I sold for years and years. So we approach everything, how the agent's going to fit. How does this help them? How does this hurt them? So
Listen, a lot of agents have their own deals with mortgage guys, right? They pay for their Zillow
Sure, of
leads.
course.
But if a mortgage guy's paying for your Zillow leads and you're not referring any mortgages, it's not going to work.
not work. Yeah.
Right? So it has to work for both parties. Our relationship with our ancillary people, it's always fair. If we're not doing our end of the bargain, we acknowledge it,
Yeah, of course.
you know?
Now, you talked about being agents for a long time, right? And now you're sitting in a different role, okay? How has the industry changed since you've gotten in, and what would you do now
Oh,
if
that's
you,
a good
if you
question.
were starting fresh with where things are today?
Okay, how has it changed? Social media. Social media. It was a much more, it's still a referral-based business. How has it changed? How else has it changed?
I mean,
Social media changed the whole industry.
social media, technology, AI, the business was always, I still think it's mostly nose to nose, toes to toes, right?
Relationships, yeah.
And I still think it's more of a relationship business than it is anything else.
Sure.
I think buying leads, this and that is great.
Short term.
You know, it's short term. Longevity in this business is referral. and it's a slow climb, you know. But at the end of the day, I don't think we could start it now and succeed as well. We'd have to change everything.
You would have to change everything.
Yeah,
And
we would probably have to have a different type of model. There's all these different models out there. It's hard
Yes.
to try to change your model when you've had the same model forever, right? What do you think, Kath?
You said, what would I do today if I were a new agent? Same thing I did back then. I would continue to work with a company that is going to train me, teach me, and teach me right. It's not a fast, real estate's a slow, steady climb, and longevity is really important. And to have longevity, like if you build a house, you need a strong
Sure.
foundation.
Yeah.
If you're going to build your career, you need a strong foundation.
But in the future, I don't think you're going to see big companies have an office in every single town.
Of course.
I think it's going to be bigger offices,
More hubs, yeah.
Western Nassau,
Yeah.
Eastern Nassau, Western Suffolk, Eastern Suffolk. I think you're going to see bigger offices, but less offices.
Well, less offices. When you guys got into the business, was there an expectation this is going to take a long time? Because the generation now wants everything instant. We live in a world where things happen, right? Now with AI and answers at your disposal and things done for you with, just thinking them practically. When you guys got into the business, and again, I'm trying to date you, so please don't take it the wrong way, but was there an expectation, hey, this is going to take a while, whereas new agents now feel as though it's just going to happen overnight?
So for me, I was very blessed. My mom was really successful. So I always say I was a silver spoon realtor. I didn't have to. I was her partner from day one, and,
Sure.
and I had instant success. But back then, yeah, it was slower. It was a slower
It
start.
was a different market. Back then there were a lot of expireds because things weren't selling.
Yeah.
So I used to every morning call the expired listings, and I'd be that annoying guy who was the first one to call. And at one point I had 36 listings at 22 years old, but they weren't selling because they didn't sell because they were overpriced in the first point. So then I decided I was firing all my clients if they didn't drop their price, and I went down to like 8 listings, and they all sold, and I started making money.
I've never called an expired in my life. There's
No.
the yin and the yang.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I was young. I didn't have this fear.
No, I understood. That's why we work, because Pete can talk to some people the way they need to listen, learn, and I can talk differently.
Pricing above all, we can have the best marketing in the world, right?
Always price.
You can take the best pictures, the drone shots, the social media clips of you, hanging from the roof, right? You could do all that stuff, but it all centers on price.
That's what I think. I mean, I see agents do an amazing job with marketing and an amazing job with photos, and I think they're great agents, and it's very effective to get the next listing because they show that seller what they're doing. But listen, I've sold over 1,000 homes with my new construction. I've never marketed anything. My pictures always suck, and I
Tell us the truth, at least.
and I price it fair.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't sell, I drop the price till it sells.
Yeah.
For
It's all
me,
price.
it's always been a function of price.
And marketing is important. It is very important. But it's really marketing the agent for the next sale, because a house that's priced well will sell.
Marketing is branding.
Yes. And so to that point, obviously, you started Signature in 2007. I don't know when you guys started to see an upward climb. I moved to the area in 2012. I kind of look at that as sort of like the bottom of the market. You might disagree, but that was kind of where I saw it sort of level out and kind of consistently go up, obviously at a much higher rate in the last 5 or 6 years. But since 2012, it's been, a slow, steady climb. And then, we basically had a hockey stick shoot up once COVID hit. The expectations, of course, and I'm no different, right? The expectations are things have to sell, and they're going to sell quickly. And that's starting to change.
Oh, it's definitely starting to
It's
change.
but it's going to be good for the agent because it's not about
And the
how
industry.
high the selling price is. It's about how many trades,
Sure.
right? So if the market starts to decline, there's still a lot of buyers out there. There's going to be a lot more inventory. They're going to have more trades. Their job will be a little more challenging,
Sure.
where all of a sudden they're like, what do you mean we have to do price reductions and
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
service a listing,
Yeah.
right? Because they're not selling
Starting to
overnight.
happen, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's going to be good for the industry, and it's
On-
coming.
On many levels. I think that there are agents out there that just don't belong in the industry. They do better at another career. And I think when market change always helps the cream rise to the top.
What do you guys see for the market over the next, let's just say, 2 to 3 years?
I think that we've peaked.
I agree.
I think rates are going to come down.
Agree.
I think when rates, you see right now at a 6.5% rate, nobody wants to leave their 3% mortgage, right?
Sure.
When rates get down into the fives and there's a 2% spread, they're going to want to go on with their lives. So I think you're going to see a lot of inventory. There's still going to be a lot of buyers, so there's going to be a lot of trades, but I think it's going to put downward pressure on the pricing.
But we won't crash. That's
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to crash, but Florida's crashing.
Sure.
Texas is crashing. Vegas is crashing. Parts of California are crashing. To think that we're just going to keep going up and up is unrealistic.
But more of a flat line,
I see us going down 10%.
a little dip, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing about our area, right, and you know this, right, from building and developing, it's so hard to build out here, right? There's
Not a lot of land left.
There's not a lot of land left. It's a great place to live, right? So you have the demand, you have the lack of inventory. I don't want to say that we're in this insulated, bulletproof bubble, but the effects that you kind of see nationwide don't always apply to us as in the
As
same
extreme, as extreme, but
extreme.
we're not insulated from it.
Yes.
We're not insulated from it, but, you know, with your business, my advice would be no permits get in and out,
Yes.
right? Because then you can't
That's
get
great
that hurt
advice.
if you get in and out quick.
Yes.
But if you got, in this town, if you have to get permits or subdivide, or
Yes.
it just, all of their delays have made developers so much money because the market's gone up and up.
Yes.
But if you buy a piece of land now and it takes 6 months to get permits and another year to build it, you know, you're selling a year and a half later, I
Who
would be
knows?
very careful.
It could be. And, you know, a lot of my deals, I mean, even big rehabs for us don't take us a particularly long time, right? You know, 6 to 8 weeks because we're in, for the most part, in those cookie cutter neighborhoods. But for the most part, you know, a lot of new developments that we're doing, I'm not. You know, I have one build that I'm doing out in East Hampton that seems like it'll be priced well. But outside of that, it's just such a slow and hard grind.
Painful.
And you know, even I do it because I like the challenge of it, right? I like it because, you know, not to, you know, again, sound like, you know, it's boring and mundane, but because I've done the flips so many times,
New
right?
and exciting. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's new and exciting, and it's just another level of complexity that, you know, I don't always have with your traditional fix and flip, because a lot of our, you know, fixes and flips, you know, rehabs are very small, right? Like we go in there, we clean them up, we try to keep the price as low as we can. So one of the big things we noticed really since the interest rates have gone up was don't try to rehab the whole thing. Just try to make it clean and functional, because a buyer is going to overlook condition if you can put it out at the best price, you know, and they'll put that sweat equity in later on.
Still the low supply and high demand. You're
Yes.
still in that good.
You're still in that realm. And when I find myself doing these new builds, I'm saying to myself, well, why am I doing this? You know, why am I going through all this brain damage for what?
I'm not building anymore. If I had the time, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah. Yeah, because again, it's when I talk about fluidity in the business, you know, like we've got the fix and flips down to, I don't want to say a science, but we've got
We've got it going.
we've got it going. We've got a nice system. There's no real reason to deviate, even if, you know, it looks good. The grass always looks greener. But
Building's a tough industry right now. Between the construction costs through the roof, the cost of money, and the municipalities being anti-development, it's a grind.
it's an extreme grind.
Do you ever miss it?
No.
What's next for the brokerage? I mean, I know you talked about like luxury, the office in Roslyn, but beyond that, what's next? What are the initiatives that you're bringing in?
Just
growth.
growth. That's us. That's always
We've
been us.
never-
Not grown.
Not grown year over year. Even when Compass came into town, we still grew, right? So if our market share is 9.5%, next year we want it to be 10.5%. If it's 9.6,
I would say 11. We want 11.
we'll take it. If it's 9.4 and we went down, that's
Roll
never
up our s-
happening.
We'll roll up our sleeves and
That's
work
when rolling
harder.
up our sleeves and we're getting back to working our asses off.
Is there any exciting initiatives that you want to discuss that you would say maybe you've just kind of talked between yourselves that you say maybe now would be the good time to just introduce to the public?
22-day push-up challenge.
Yeah, we want to.
We like giving back to the community. We like bringing our agents together. We find that the more we give, the more we get.
And we were looking back at what was our best philanthropy event we've ever had. Where did we raise the most money?
Always
Where
looking
did everybody feel great? It was a lot of work,
a lot.
but we did this thing called the 22-day push-up challenge for veterans. Every day, 22 veterans take their life due to post-traumatic stress disorder. And we decided to do it. not every agent can do a push-up, so
I can.
we had them do jumping jacks.
Okay.
And it started off slow day 1, day 2, day 3, and then all of a sudden
It took off.
it took off and it went viral, and we're doing push-ups at school districts, we're doing push-ups at firehouses. The last day of the push-up challenge, we did it on Veterans Day at the Huntington Country Club, and we did it on the first fairway. We raised over $100,000.
Oh, wow.
We had all these Purple Heart
125.
guys that like saw what we were doing.
was
We
beautiful.
got dogs for Paws for Heroes. So we decided we're going to bring it back, and we're going to do it in September, and we're going to make it huge.
Okay.
And this time, we're going to promote it. We're not going to do it under the radar.
It did go viral, but we never promoted it ourselves.
We never want our philanthropy to seem self-serving.
Sure.
Sometimes when, I see people promoting their golf outing or what they're doing, they make it all about them. You don't even know what the hell the charity is.
Yeah. Of
So
course.
we always like to do it under the radar and do it for the right reasons. Like our first charity event we did was, I was looking for land, right? And I saw a little shelter, had 2 separately deeded building lots attached to the shelter. So I went to the shelter and I'm like, you want to sell off the lots? They're like, no, we have no interest. I go, well, why don't you make it a run for the animals? They're sitting here in cages. They go, that's our goal, but we don't have the money in the budget. I go, what if we did it? They go, you would do that? I go, sure. I got our tree guy, took down the trees, excavated there, pulled the stumps, sent an email to the agents,
Came in.
telling them what they were doing. They all came down, and people love their animals, right? They all came down and cleaned up the lot. We laid sod. We
Agility.
fenced the area. We did agility equipment for the
okay.
dogs. And we said goodbye. It was just out of liking animals and wanting to do something nice. This little shelter called every news outlet and told them what this little company, because we were small back then, what this small company in Huntington did for them. Next thing you know, it was on Channel 12. It was on the Long Islander. We probably got, 15 listings out of that?
And
People
agents.
say, we got agents from other companies saying, I want to be with the company that did the doggy park.
Sure.
So that's when we really saw the power of philanthropy for doing it for the right reason.
And I think it's important to say, when Pete brought me the doggy park idea and the 22-day push-up challenge, I told him he was crazy and it would never work. And it really changed our company. That dog park changed our company.
Really?
Yeah. Because we learned that we all can come together, be a family, give back. And it's more than just the agent. When we say they come, their kids come. That makes a lot of a difference to us.
And now people know we do it for the right reason, so you don't have to do it under the radar. You're allowed to have a win-win. You're allowed to promote yourself because the more money you raise,
The more attention
the
you
more
draw to the cause.
you're able to give to the cause, and the more attention you bring to the company. So it's a win-win-win.
And agents are just thrilled to be part of it, and we're thrilled to have them be part of it. And then we welcome the community in. So it's good stuff.
Not to fast forward time too much, but at some point or another, right? Your role, like Signature, obviously goes on, but at some point or another, your role dies down. What's the legacy that you want to leave? What do you want to be remembered for within the real estate community?
There was a guy in Huntington, Quentin Samus, right? He owned Samus Realty. I've never heard anybody say a bad word about that guy. They all loved working for him. They said he was a great guy. I just want to be remembered as doing the right thing.
For me, I hope they remember that we were kind. But when I think legacy, I don't think of the industry, I think of our daughters.
Okay.
So for me, Pete has 3 amazing daughters who I adore. I have 3. I hope our legacy in this industry is that the kids knew we did what we loved, did it the best we could, and I hope someday that they
Well,
continue.
eventually, we're going to pass the baton.
Long time down. Long time, girls.
And when you have eventually passed that baton, what do you want to see amongst your daughters?
I want to see them take it to the next level. Well, what we didn't say is the beauty is our girls all get along you couldn't. Our friendship has overflowed into their friendship. What do I hope the girls can achieve? I hope they can achieve even more than we did, and I believe they will take it to the next level because they have the desire, the want, and they're smart, much smarter than us.
Social media, AI, technology. Listen, my email address is pmorris799 at AOL.
I know.
That's not the way I operate. My mind doesn't
What
operate
you see
that way.
is what you get.
And I'm never going to learn it. I never want to learn it. And I know that about me.
Same.
But my kids do know it. And they know it well. And I think having that ability will attract the next generation of agents. I think I'm pretty much burnt out trying to attract younger agents. I think I could still attract seasoned agents.
Sure.
But that I'm passing the baton right now. Every new agent, I send my daughter.
But and I think it's important that we still have that ability to entertain the newer agent or help the newer agent and the seasoned agent. So I think we got
Yeah,
it
just
going.
because we don't know it, or I don't know it, doesn't
I don't
mean
know it
we
either.
have the people surrounding us that
And they
do
don't
know
need
it.
us to know it. They need to know that we have the person who can teach them properly.
So the last question that I have for this, but I'm going to answer it, and if I'm wrong, tell me, okay? But I was going to ask you the one word to describe your leadership style, and to me, it's really above everything. It seems to be humility.
I was
That-
going to say, is ego-free a word? Is
Yeah.
ego-free a
And
word?
transparency.
Yeah.
See,
And just seemed like you're both very just comfortable in your own skin.
always are.
You're not pretending to be something else. You're owning who you are. I would imagine that for your daughters, you would want the same thing, right? Because if they do that, right, the spirit of Signature, the culture of Signature lives on.
Yeah, and listen, we've
And I
had
think
good
they
luck.
have.
We've had good luck along the way too. That doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I know that as well as anybody, right place, right time.
I always
Yeah.
say blessings in disguise. You just don't know them, right?
Sure. Well, that concludes my interview today. Thank you guys so much for being on. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
You're the
it.
best.
Thanks, and thanks for being probably our best.
Definitely our best client.
I would hope,
I
so
appreciate it.
Thank you. All
I
right,
appreciate
guys.
your business.
Thank you. So that wraps up the show. As always, if you're ever interested in selling your house, okay, or you know somebody that wants to sell their house, give us a call. You can reach out to us at SuffolkCountyHouseBuyers.com. You can DM me directly. You can call our phone number, 631-333-SELL. Really easy to remember. And again, our slogan is your terms, your timeline, your way. So if you know somebody that you think would benefit from that, please reach out to us. Thanks so much for watching.